Good morning, everyone. Good morning, sir. Today I will discuss a report entitled The Intellectual Revolutions and Society. This section reviews the intellectual revolutions that changed the way people perceive the influence of science and society in general. It focuses on three most important intellectual revolutions in society. First one, the Copernican, Darwinian, and Freudian. In the study of history of science and technology, another important area of interest involves the various intellectual revolutions across time. In this area, interest lies in how intellectual revolutions emerge as a result of interaction of science and technology and of society, covers how intellectual revolutions altered the way modern science was understood and approached. In science and technology, intellectual revolution refer to the series of events that lead to the emergence of modern science and the progress of scientific thinking across critical periods in history. This section focuses on view science and its impact on society, the Copernican, Darwinian, and Freudian revolution. In the words of French astronomer, mathematician, and Freemason Jean-Sylvain Bailly in year 1976 and Cohen 1976, the scientific revolution involved a two-stage process of sweeping away the old and establishing the new. In understanding the intellectual revolutions, it is worth noting that these revolutions are in themselves. This shift resulted from a renewed and enlightened understanding on how the universe behaved and functioned. They challenged long-held views about the nature of the universe, thus these revolutions were often met with huge resistance and controversy. Next, we have the Copernican Revolution, refers to the 60th century paradigm shift named after the Polish mathematician and astronomer Nicolaus Copernicus. He is the heliocentric model of the universe. Copernicus introduced the heliocentric model in a 40-page outline entitled Commas Realized. He formalized his model in the publication The Treatise Doctor Revised the Lucifer, Ortism, the Revolution of Celestial Spheres in year 1543. The model illustrated the Earth, along with other primary body, to the rotating around the sea. The idea of the sun refers at the center of universe instead of the Earth proved to be unsettling to many when Copernicus first introduced his model. In fact, the heliocentric model was met with huge resistance, primarily from the Church, accusing Copernicus of heresy. Moreover, although far more sensible than the Ptolemaic model, which as early as the 13th century had been criticized for its shortcomings. The Copernican model also had multiple inadequacies that were later filled by astronomers who participated in the evaluation. The contribution of the Copernican revolution is far-reaching. It serves as a catalyst to sway scientific thinking away from aged views about the position of the Earth relative to an enlightened understanding of the universe. Next, we have the Darwinian Revolution. The English naturalist, geologist, and biologist Charles Darwin is credited for steering another important intellectual revolution in the mid of 19th century. His treatise on the science of evolution, on the origin of species, was published in year 1859 and began a revolution that brought humanity to a new era intellectual discovery. The Darwinian Revolution benefited from earlier intellectual revolutions, especially those in the 16th and 17th centuries, such that it was guided by confidence in human reason's ability to explain phenomena in the universe. Darwin gathered evidence pointing to what is known as natural selection, an evolutionary process by which organisms, including humans, inherit, develop, and adopt traits that favor survival and reproduction. These traits are manifested in offspring that are more fit and well suited to the challenges of survival and reproduction. Next, Darwin's theory. Darwin's theory of evolution was, of course, met with resistance and considered to be controversial. Critics accuse the theory of being either short accounting for the broad and complex evolutionary process or dismissive of the idea that the functional design of organism was a manifestation of an omniscient God. The Darwinian revolution can be like to the Copernican revolution in its demonstration of the power of the laws of nature in explaining biological phenomena of survival and reproduction. The place of the Darwinian revolution in modern science cannot be understated. To the Darwinian revolution, the development of organisms and the origin of unique forms of life in humanity could be rationalized by a lawful system of an orderly process of change underpinned by laws of nature. And lastly, the Freudian Revolution. Australian neologist Sigmund Freud is credited for steering a 20th century intellectual revolution named after him, the Freudian Revolution. Freud developed psychoanalysis, a scientific method of understanding inner and conscious conflicts, dreams, and fantasies of the individual. Psychoanalytic concepts psychosocial develop, libido, and ego were met with both support and resistance from many scholars. Scientists working on a biological approach in studying human behavior criticize psychoanalysis for lack of vitality and bordering on being scientific as a theory amidst controversy. Freud's psychoanalysis is widely credited by dominating psychotherapeutic practice in the early 20th century. Psychodynamic therapies that treat a myriad of psychological disorders will remain largely informed by Freud's work on psychoanalysis. And that would be all. We are Group 3. Thank you, sir.